Okay, welcome to Genius Dreams Education Channel, and today we are going to continue our lesson on website development. For our previous video, I did a video on our lesson on buttons, how to create buttons using HTML and CSS. And today we are going to go deep into how to create buttons using HTML and CSS. So today's on we will provide more styling property using the hover property and a lot of CSS style, how to use them to app. So today we look at how to apply a lot of CSS style on our buttons. So before you start, please subscribe to my channel to get any new updates on our website development. So first of all, let's come to our code editor and let's create our HTML file. So I'm going to call this file as buttons. Okay, buttons.html. Then let me create my external CSS file too as buttons.css. So first of all, let's create the HTML structure. So shift exclamation mark enter as usual. So buttons tutorial. So buttons tutorials as the title of the web page. So the next thing is for me to link my external CSS. The CSS file, and the CSS file name is button.css. So now this is my external CSS file. So the next thing is for me to go to the body and start creating my buttons. So the first button, I'm going to call it subscribe button. So subscribe button. Then let me copy this. And paste it. So the next button will be, let me make it like. And our next button to be share. Then let me make the last one to be, let's say something like download. Okay, so these are our 4 buttons. Today we are going to look at how to use CSS to style it. So before that, let's save and refresh our page. So buttons. So these are our buttons. And this is the title of the button. That's buttons tutorials. As you can see, that's the title of the page. Buttons tutorials. And these are our 4 buttons. So the next thing is for us to use CSS to style this button, as we did in our previous lesson. But today we will go much into details how to use the CSS on this 4 buttons. So let's go back to our code editor and start with the styling. So first of all, we will go to our CSS, and let's start with the body. We are going to style the body first as usual. I want to add a background image, that's why. So let me justify my content center. Text align center. Then let me add my background image. Let me specify background position center, and then let me specify the background size to cover. And now let me save. So now let me save and refresh the page to see how the page look like now. So now you can see our background image has been added now, and our text or the content has been centered at the center of the web page. So the next thing is for us to start styling the buttons. So you are going to provide styling for each of the buttons. So the first button, let me use the class approach of styling. So I'm going to call the first button as subscribe button. So the first one to be subscribe button. And as we learned in our previous lesson, when we are providing a styling property for a class, we first of all bring dot, then we bring the class name. Then we start with the styling. So I can give it a height of, let's say, 20 pixels. So we will be adjusting it if it's not all that cool. Then let's say a width of, let me give it a width of 80 pixels. And let me give it a background color of, let me use red. Then let me give the text color to be, let's say, white. And now let me save and refresh the page to see how the page looks like. So let's go to the CSS file, and let me make the width to be, let's say, 120, and let's refresh. So now you can see the subscribe button lies inside its box, and how it has been centered. I think this is okay as compared to the first one. So the next thing is for us to style the like too. So let's go to the like button and style it. So before we provide the styling property for the like, we have to go to the HTML file and give the button a class. So we are going to use the class approach for that one too. So I'm going to call that button as the like button. So that's my like button. I'll then copy and paste it in my CSS file. So that's, then I'll paste and start the styling part. So I'm going to copy this style, that styling properties and their values, and then adjust them. Because the like is small, so I'm going to make it a height of, okay, for the height I can still maintain it to be 30 pixels, but the width, let me make the width to be somehow 60 pixels. Background color to, let me change it to blue. So I'm going to use the RGB measurement, and I want a pure blue for my background color. So I'm going to use this measurement where the first measurement is for red, the next measurement is for green, and that last measurement is for blue. So I want to give the like a color of blue, and for the text color to, I'll maintain it to be white, and the padding to the top and padding to the bottom, I'll maintain them. So let me save and refresh the page. Let me save this one. We didn't save it after naming it. So now let's refresh the page again. So now you can see our like button. So you're going to do same for the share too. But before that, let's give them a border radius to correct the edge part or the corners. So let's say a border radius of, let's say, 5 pixels. So you go back to our CSS code. Let's give it a border radius of, let's say, 5 pixels. Let's do same too for the like button. And let's save and refresh the page again. So now you can see how the edge look like. It's not as compared to the first one. So now let's go to the share. But before that, let me give it some space. Let me create some space between the subscribe button and the like button. So creating space between buttons, we are going to use the margin. As we said, margin creates space between text or between boxes. So I'm going to use margin left. This one will create a space 10 pixels to the left of the subscribe button. Okay, let me make it to the right side. Sorry, supposed to be right. If I was using the like button, then I would have make it the left margin. So let me save and refresh the page again. So now you can see the space in between the subscribe button and the like button. So I can also create same thing for the share too. So let me use the margin right. But the last one we will implement the margin left to achieve the same thing. So now you can see the space between here to is 10 pixels. That is the unit of measurement we are using for this is the pixels. So the next thing is for us to start the share and the download. So we go to our code editor and go to the HTML file. Let's create a class for the share too. So let me say class equals share button. Share button, and let me do same too for the download. Class equals download button. Let me copy this class and go to the CSS code and let me paste it here and start with the styling. Don't forget this is a class. I'll bring my dots in front. So I'm going to copy this same code and paste it here, and also go to the HTML file and copy this class. That's the class for the download button, and come to the CSS code and paste it as usual. Then I'll provide the styling for that one to be this same thing. Okay, so now let me save and refresh the page. So now you can see how the buttons look like. So we are now going to change the color of the share and the text. But for the text color, I think the white is okay. So you are going to change the background of this, and maybe the rift we will increase it small. As you can see, the download, the other text is not appearing. So the other text are not appearing, so you increase the rate small for the rest of the text to show. So let's go back to our code editor and provide the styling for those parts. So Don't forget I said we are going to increase the width of the share small. So let's make it about 80 pixels. And the blue color too, I'm going to change it to, what color should we use? That would be cool. For the share button, share is the green color. Okay, we see. When we save it and we refresh, we check whether the green color is okay or not. So the next one is the download. So for the download button, I'm going to use this color for the download button. This means, let me change the text color of the download button. So let me make the text color to be blue. Then let me change the background. If the background color is okay, let's maintain this one for now. So when we refresh and we see the color combination is not all that visible, then we will change it. So the width to, let me make it 100 pixels. So now let's save and refresh the page. So now you can see how the buttons look like. I think the share color is okay now. The green is normal. So and that is the download too. So the next thing is, let me try, because of the share, let me make it more, let me increase the border radius of the share and the download button. So for the share, as for the share, I want it to be more round. So I'm going to make the border radius to be somewhere 10 pixels. And for this one, so I want the border radius to be about, let me say, 7 pixels. So for this, I want to create a space between the download button and the share button, and I'm going to use margin. So because I'm at the download button, I'm going to use margin left of 10 pixels. So for here we use margin right, and we are using margin left to create a space at the left side of the download button. So let's save and go and refresh. This is how it looks like, and we want to create a space 10 pixels on the left of this download, and the space will come here. So let me refresh. So now you can see how it looks like now. And you can see the share button is more rounded as compared to the like and the subscribe, followed by the download button. So you can see how this one look like as compared to the first one in our previous lesson. So the next thing is, I can also change the mouse pointer too. So let's go and change the mouse pointer. So let me say cursor to pointer. Let me copy this one, sorry, and give it to all the buttons. And the last button too. So now we can save and refresh the page again. So you can see when we bring the pointer or the mouse to it, it changes shape. It changes shape, but the download, there's something wrong. We make some mistake at the download when we were copying it. This is the mistake. Let's save it and refresh it again. So now you can see the download too. So all of them, when the cursor gets close to it or is on it, it changes shape to the hand shape, as you can see. That's the cursor effect. So So when it gets close to it, it changes shape, and that's the cursor effect. So let's go back to the code. So the next thing is you want to provide transitions for all of them, for active transitions. So when you want to provide the hover effect of the buttons, anytime you hover over them, you want them to change colors. So for that one, you are going to copy the class and paste it. Then we call the hover. So calling of the hover, we use the semicolon, the column, then hover. Then we will start styling it. So anytime you hover over this one, you want to change the background color to maybe blue. So background color to blue. And let's come here, we want to give transition background color. So background color 0.3 seconds. So anytime you hover over it, you want to change the background color to blue, and if you take this transition, so you take 0.3 seconds to change the color from red to blue. So let's save and refresh the page. Then let's hover over it. You can see. So anytime you hover over the subscribe button, it turns to blue. So now we also have another property called active. So when you hover over it and you click on it, want to show something. So let's go and copy this same thing. Come here and let's paste it. What's happening? So we are going to call the active for this button. The same thing as you call for the hover. So for the active, we want to change the opacity. Opacity, that's the brightness of the color. So and for this opacity, it takes values between 0 and 1. So I want to make the opacity to be, let me set it to 0.6 and save. So anytime we click on the button, let me refresh and show you how it works. So anytime you hover over it, you see it changes color from red to blue based on how we set the hover effect. So anytime you click on it, that is the active, and you can see the blue color depreciate in color. The blue color fade, becomes somehow like fading. Yeah, because you decrease the opacity at the active side. So I can also change it from the opacity and give it to another color, like let's say green. Let me say if we click on it, if the text should change color to, let me use the text. So the text should change color to, let's say black. We are just learning for now, and we don't want to get we are not interested in beautiful right now. Just want to know how to use this thing. So now let's refresh and see how it will look like. So hover over it, you get the blue. When you click on it, you can see the text has changed color to black. But if you don't get it, let me change it because it seems the black is not all that visible. Let me make it red. Then save and refresh. Let's hover over it and click on it. Now you can see the red. So that's how the active and the hover effect works. So based on that, you can provide the same effect for the rest of the buttons. So you can provide a hover for this one and also an active for that. The same thing applies to this, the same thing applies to this. So for the like button too, I'm going to provide the hover effect for it. Let me copy, paste it, and let me call the hover. And start styling it. So when I hover over it, I would like to change the background color, or I would like to change the text color to blue. So let me say color. Blue. And after changing the text color to blue, I would like to also change the background color to red. And let me give it a transition. So for the transition, first of all, the background color. So background color should take 0.3 seconds to change from the green color to the red color. And the color of the text should take the same 0.3 seconds to change from the white color to the blue color. So that's how the hover will work. So the next thing is for the active part. So the same thing as we did for the hover effect, we are going to call the active and then start with our styling. And for the active, I'm always interested in decreasing the opacity. So let me decrease the opacity to about 0.8%. Don't forget I said the opacity takes values between 0 and 1. So I'm decreasing the opacity to about 0.8. So for that one too, okay, we can also give it transition as we did for the background color and the color of the text. So now let's save this and refresh the page to see how that one too works or how it's taking place. So now you can see the time it takes to change state. It's fast, that's 0.3 seconds. So when I click on it, that's where anytime I click on it, that's the active part, and you can see the red color like decreases. You see the red color decreases. If you can't view it clear, let me decrease it more so that you can see. So let me make it something like 0.5 and save. So now let's refresh the page. So now you can see when you click on it, it changes more as you can see. So for the like button, the rate is too much thick, and I would like to also decrease the rate too. So let's go to the code editor and decrease the rate of the like button. So let's go to the CSS. So here is the like button. Let me make the width to be somehow like 1 pixels. So now let's save and refresh the page. Instead of me making it border width, sorry, this one is supposed to be border width. So now let's save it and refresh the page. So now you can see, as compared to the subscribe button, the edge or the border is thick, but the like button is slight, like it's very thin. So I'm going to do same for the share and the download button. I'm going to make their border width to be 1 pixels. Let me copy and paste it. Let me copy this one too and paste it. Let me save and then refresh the page. So now you can see all their edges or their borders are thin as compared to the subscribe button. So we can do same too for the subscribe button, but I would like to leave my subscribe button in this format. So anytime you hover over it, there is something wrong with the like. We've changed something. So the hover over effect is not working. Let's refresh. So now when you hover over it, you can see the effect. And you click on it, it changes. For the rest, we can do the same thing for these two buttons too. So it's just a matter of us replicating what is here and changing the color or what we want to change. As this one, when we activate it, the text color turns red and the color or the background color to fade. For here too, when you hover over it, you see the effect that changes within 0.3 seconds. And when we click on it, the background color fade. So for the background color, if you want to provide the fading effect, we said we use opacity to do that. And for the other ones too, you can change the background color, you can change the text, you can change anything. Anyhow you want them to work for you, you can do same. So let me cut this one and paste it under the like button. So the next one, let's try and do 1, 2 for the share button and the download button. You will do it. So that's the share button. So first of all, let's call the hover effect and start styling it. So anytime you hover over it, we want to change the background color from green to red. So background color should be red. Color of the text, I would like to maintain it. Then let me go for the active. You can add a lot of things to it, but I just want you to get the idea or the analogy behind how to style the buttons using the hover effect and the active effect. So for here, for this time, when we activate it, I want to change. So let me go for text decoration. As I said, you can use a lot of them. So I'm going to use the text decoration of the underline. Anytime we activate it or we click on the shared button, I want to underline the text. So let me save and refresh. So when we hover over it, you can see the effects. It changes smoothly, so you can apply transitions to it within maybe 0.3 second or 0.1 or whatever second, the time we want it to change. So when I click on it, you can see the shade or the text, the shade has been underlined. That's a white underline. That's one function of the active or one styling we can also use. So I can also, at the same time, I can also decrease the opacity as for the did for the first one. So I can also decrease the opacity, and let me make the opacity to be, let's say, 0.4, and let me save. Opacity takes value between 0 and 1 as usual. Then let's click on it. You can see how it works. So the last one is the download, and for the download, I'm just going to copy this code. As I said, you can do same for the rest, but it's just a matter of you change any property you want to apply to just distinguish between hover effect and active or whatever. That's how it works, or that's how it works. So maybe if you hover over it, you want to change the text size, you can then set it maybe to some text size like maybe 20 pixels or whatever. If you hover over it, you want to change the font color, you want to change the font size or the font family or any other thing you want to change, whether the text, declaration or whatever it is. You just implement it. So let's go and hover over the download. You can see when you click on it, same thing as we use the effect for the share for the download. So this is how you can create these four buttons and use CSS to style it, giving the hover effect and how to use the active effect on these four buttons. So you can see how to use HTML and CSS. Like, if you know how to implement them, it's really good and somehow beautiful. So thank you for watching. Subscribe for my channel to get any new updates on website development, as I'm teaching you the simple or the basic tips on website development, and we do our final work by designing a full website. Thank you. Subscribe to my channel for me. Goodbye.